Govind,
Back on the channel.
So Govind, meet Govind. He is one of the reasons I started doing this. He has his own channel, which guess what is called Govind. And that's where he's posting daily.
Govind Direct.
Govind Direct. He's posting reflections. So since we are famous enough and have a base of
5 viewers.
how many subscribers? Like 25 subscribers together. We thought we would do a video together and just share a little bit of our journey so far. Especially because what triggered this, for me at least, was the fact that at one point he posted a video about masks. And believe it or not, that was the video that I wanted to do that day. And I was like, come on, that was my idea. But this synchronicity triggered actually this conversation. Basically, we wanted to go deeper on the topic of masks.
Well, that's something I noticed even too, is that when we take the time to kind of go inside of ourselves to figure out what we want to say to the world, like, which is, you know, obviously nobody gives a fuck about who we are, but still, we're still doing it in that spirit.
Yeah.
And when you take that time to kind of tune into yourself, and if it's not just fully off the cuff, you kind of, a topic can kind of just come to you.
Yep.
And clearly you did the same thing that day, and we both came to that topic. And what's fun is sometimes you read Guruji's tweet later that day and you see, oh yeah, it's kind of talking about kind of the same thing that we were. So, you know, there's something going on.
Yeah.
In the cosmos. It's a collective consciousness, you know. So, what to say?
Well, let's give a context.
Sure.
I think it's important. So, first of all, Govind is a cinematographer and movie director. I myself am an actor, and we both came from different parts of the world. Me from Romania, he came from the States, to Germany, like in the middle of nowhere. That's why you have all these beautiful shots. The scenery is amazing because there's literally nothing here but nature. And an ashram. And we came for this ashram particularly because our spiritual master lives here, Paramahamsa Vishwananda, and we're devotees, as you see on the marks on our foreheads. Is like a statement, we are following this path.
Yeah.
We became Hindus through initiation, and now we're trying to apply the spiritual teachings into our daily life and try to
become them.
Yeah, somehow embody these teachings. And that's why for me it's beautiful to have this conversation about masks in the context of our former life, you might say.
Sure.
Because as an actor I've been dealing with masks like as a profession. I had to wear the hat of a different character every night.
You have to make very convincing masks.
Yeah, so convincing that people do not tell that you even wear a mask.
That's it. Yeah.
And that journey led me to reflect a lot on who am I actually. If I can wear that character every night, that means there's a character I play also every day. And I play, when my mother calls me, for example, I change my voice. I'm like, yeah, mom, how are you? If my boss calls me from work, I'm like, yeah, okay, what? So I'm playing the son, I'm playing the father, I'm playing the devotee. why not? This is also, we're putting makeup, we're wearing our costumes,
Right.
and we walk the path of life, playing all these characters, and you start to wonder, so what's the point of these characters?
And who am I really?
Yes, behind the mask, behind the character that I'm playing.
Yeah.
So one of the questions is, do you think it is important for us to wear the mask, or just take it off and that's it, go all in?
I don't think it's even possible to take it off. You know, that's the kind of the issue. I guess it's possible, but that's a high level of that doesn't just come just like that, you know, because of growing up in society itself. To operate, we just learn at such a young age, before we probably can even remember, just we learn to do it so that we can even interact appropriately with the world, and like, you know, get things from our parents that we feel like we need as a child or whatever, you know what I mean? So to take that off is definitely seems to be a long process of unlearning.
But when was the first time you realized that you're actually wearing one?
Well, oh man, I have no idea. I mean, there are some key experiences I can remember that really reminded me, though. I mean, I'm sure it's happened many times. You know, gorgeous, no? Jesus.
Yeah, sometimes I'm taken aback by the beauty. The artist inside of us cannot help himself. You just need to recognize the beauty, man. When you see it, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, images don't make justice to that.
No, not on digital anyway. Yeah, I mean, in my adult life, I have a very obvious time that I kind of broke through from my point of view, from my experience, I realized I had about 8 or 9 masks on top of each other that my awareness was looking through, like
8 filters?
8 filters into reality.
Wow.
And it was, and they were in my mind, right? So of course I'm talking about a mushroom trip here. Like, you know, I wasn't, this wasn't through like deep sadhana and like
meditation and self-awareness.
No, it was not through any,
just plain old mushrooms, my friend.
It was cheap and easy, man. I'll tell you. No, yeah,
it's a life hack. At one point, it helps you.
Yeah, like oh gosh,
it's not recommended, but at least learn something from that experience if you still do it.
Yeah, as the, you know, these early explorers in the 60s would say, it's, you get to look through the window into the divine, but you don't get to walk through the door.
Wow. Very good point.
In the experience of kind of, for the first time, I thought, I was already smoking weed at that time, and it kind of felt like that at first. Oh, like, things are so funny. It's so, like, I feel like
life
fun.
Is nice.
But it went to a whole nother level after that. But really, the experience was as if it was as if these filters began lifting one by one or dissolving. And all of a sudden, I just experienced myself like, I felt like I was 4 years old again, genuinely. And everything around me is just completely novel. I have never, like, I know what it all is. It's not like I lost my memory of it or what life is, like this tree and these plants and everything, but the perception of it was so novel and thus so beautiful, you know, and so profound. And what comes with that, in tandem with that, is just a love, just such a purity of love for everything and everyone, because there's no pretense and no judgment about it. So my friends were there, they just looked amazing. They looked like, I was like, you guys look incredible.
I love
like
you.
Greek gods, you know. And I was like thinking about, I was like, I gotta call my parents and just tell them how much I love them and appreciate them. Like, all like the shit was gone from all the issues, you know, growing up, teenage stuff. But what was weird is that I realized, I was like, just looking back, I was like, my God, I have been depressed for the last basically 2.5 years. This was about 2.5 years that I was in college when I did this, you know. And I realized that I was, holy crap, this whole time I've been totally depressed. Like, I've been totally seeing the world through this
filter,
through these filters, and basically not interpreting the raw truth of reality properly. Which is, it's gorgeous, it's novel, it's amazing, life is beautiful, like. So anyway, it was a big wake up, that kind of moment. But of course, then a week goes by and they all come back, and
yeah.
Right, now I have to deal with this shit.
Yeah.
Let's do it for real now. So,
Yeah.
hence the spiritual path.
I think a lot of people can relate to this type of experiences. When you were sharing this, I was thinking a lot about the idea of the labyrinth, because the point of the labyrinth is to reach the center, and you have all that journey in the labyrinth. And if you do it, for example, if you take a classic labyrinth, if you do it, you approach the center, and then you go further away from the center, and that's the whole journey until you reach the center. And what the psychedelics do, they poke like a shortcut right near to the center, and you're like, oh, that is it, I want to reach there.
Yeah.
But what you don't have is the experience of getting there, so you cannot do it by yourself. And you have to walk the path. Good morning, bro.
How are you?
Very good. How are you? Enjoy the snow and the sun, bro. And what you do, you don't have the experience of reaching them there by yourself, and that's why you want to repeat the experience. You want to repeat it to have that. But when you start walking the path consciously, and for us, it's totally different experience, since we have a spiritual master that's guiding us, and we see clearly what path we need to walk. That experience stays with you, and you can go back to it over and over again, and you don't feel lost anymore, you know.
Yeah, it becomes very foundational in many ways. Can, if you have a good experience.
Yeah.
Some people have a negative one, for sure.
But for sure, I don't recommend that path. If that's your life experience,
you're just rolling the dice.
You never know what you're gonna get.
So,
but with proper meditation, proper sadhana, as we call it, and when you start walking a spiritual path with a guidance, you don't roll the dice there.
Yeah,
it's like you know that you're gonna reach it. You know that you're gonna reach the center.
Yeah,
you don't know when, because you have to put the effort. But you know that having a guru in your life, he will take you there. Yeah. That's for sure. That's our experience so far. Yeah. So yeah, it's nice. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg, and we're just scratching this conversation. So,
my question is that, is it about integration of all of the maths into one amalgam, or is it about some essence that's underneath all of the maths? I guess my inclination is the latter, that it's some essence underneath. It's true.
An essence underneath.
At least I can say from personal experience, like, at least from that initial kind of drug, indicates that that there's something.
Where are we going?
Maybe this way, yeah?
Oh, okay, let's check it. What?
Because I know a lot of people talk about integration, right? Wait, we bring in all these different aspects. It's like, no, you don't need to exclude anything, right? We need to just bring everything that you are and accept that as part of yourself, which is definitely, it makes some sense, right?
Yeah, you integrate the shadow, as Jung is
right,
is teaching us.
Integrate your animalistic side to
Yeah.
stuff. It's going into like what happens in LA, like, yeah, let's have a fucking men's circle and just fucking shout at each other all night. Yeah, you know, it's
Yeah,
like,
back
okay,
to the roots.
I guess.
Yeah, it helps. It helps to know maybe
This is
more.
actor. This is actor shit. Since I hang out with actors,
Method
too, I'm like,
actors.
you guys are fucking ridiculous.
Go all
but
in.
Okay. If it
What
works.
to do, bro? We play the game
Yeah.
100%. We get lost sometimes.
Uh-huh.
I think the main thing for me now. Hello. The main thing for me is to acknowledge the fact that you're wearing one at the beginning. So you just have that realization, man. This is a mask. This is not who I am.
Uh-huh.
It's like Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita that your soul, your Atma, how we call it, is changing bodies like people are changing clothes. And this is the same with masks. I had a show and a friend of mine wrote the text. He's also an actor and director. Hello, Alex. Love you, guy. Love you, bro. And he wrote in one of the monologues, he said, the only journey that people don't talk about is the journey that you take from the moment you wake up until you put your mask on your face. And that's a really short time. I mean, you just wake up, you go brush your teeth, and you're like, so I'm going to work, so I have to wear this mask.
Yes.
Or I have to meet my my beloved, my lover. I'm gonna wear the lover's mask. Whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And you just wear.
I'm gonna be the most suave,
Yeah.
smelling, compassionate guy. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be the most devoted, you know, calm, peaceful guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
And I've been
whatever.
there. I've been playing all these characters, bro. I've been playing in real life because it's so appealing.
And it's always the most, right? It's always the most X.
The most X,
You know,
yeah.
it's
You're not
it's
like
always
half
for
there.
sure. It's better than
Yeah.
everyone else. It's
You're
gonna be
not
the top
half there.
hill.
You definitely want to be the like you're
fucking
the best
one.
one.
Yeah.
I'm the best.
Sure.
And if we would do that with our improvement, I just
Yeah.
want to improve my life and
Yeah.
be the most authentic and sincere. You don't want to be sincere. I think this is a discussion about sincerity at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The whole topic with the masks.
Sure.
Are you able to expose yourself for who you truly are with your faults and mistakes, or you feel the need to beautify? No, because masks actually they hide, they cover. No, that's the whole purpose of the mask, to change an identity or cover it up
Yeah.
or enhance something. You know?
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
So it's the whole discussion is about authenticity
How do
and
we
sincerity.
fucking not put it on? You know,
Yeah.
how do we leave it at the bedside and
Yeah.
enter your day without it raw? That your own terrifying, ugly face.
Or
into
have
the
the
world.
courage to take it off in the middle of the day,
Sure.
like in the middle of the conversation,
Yeah.
when you acknowledge that it grew on your face again.
Yeah.
It's like a beard, you know. The mask is like a beard. It grows during the day. Maybe at the beginning you start your day really nice. I've been doing my meditation. I'm quite in tune with my true self,
Sure.
if I know what that is. And then I go with my day. But suddenly you encounter situations in your life and you have to become that character or that character. And just acknowledge that, man, I'm becoming this character. So if I'm becoming this one, could I take it off in the middle of the conversation, in the middle of the meeting, in front of everyone? That's a challenge.
Yeah. But are you taking off the mask only to have another one underneath it? You know what I mean? Like this
Yeah.
is, I feel like, what's really going on. It's like, yeah, I'll take off the mask, but then there's just an even subtler mask underneath.
Yeah.
That's shaped in a different way. It's like, and
There's
that's
a-
kind of what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know. I actually have no idea how to actually just be really who I am. Like, because I don't actually know. I haven't really fully made contact with that, at least to my knowledge, in a sustainable manner.
And I think this is the whole, for me, this whole exercise that we started doing with the cameras and talking with with your phone or with your camera is an exercise of trying to be
Yeah,
authentic,
100%.
even though you want to play the character. I want to play the character. I want to be an inspiring person in front of the camera, because
Right.
who knows, maybe someone will watch and gain value out of it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, maybe someone will watch and gain value by the fact that I'm flawed, by the fact that I have all these shitty experiences that I didn't know how to manage. I don't speak correctly, I bubble, and I'm not completely in the flow and eloquent when I speak. And this might inspire people to accept that about themselves. You don't have to be pitch perfect. I mean, have to edit every shot to look perfect so we can gain more followers. More followers, man. Follow us, subscribe, like, share, comment. So we get traction on YouTube. We beat the algorithm. No, that's
Well, there's no point. Like,
it has
I
no
mean,
point. Yeah.
There's no point. Like, yeah, I mean, it just comes down to your intention underneath, right? Like, I don't know. For me personally, yeah, I mean, it's the reason I'm just making some vids now online is, yeah, I want to just be discover my true self and be comfortable on camera too, because I think it's
It's a nice
just fun,
exercise.
you know,
Yeah.
and it's cool to be comfortable on camera.
What did you
just as
discover so far? I mean, you're in, well, how many videos have you done so far?
only like 80, 85 or so far.
85. So how, so far, what's the journey been like?
I think it's just like working out, you know. It just
Uh-huh.
at first it kind of sucks, or it takes a long time. Like my first days in the gym after a long stretch of being off of it are like, okay, I need to do research here. I need to figure out what I'm doing with these weights. I need to know what exercises work best, like what goals am I trying to achieve with my body. And then you do your first workouts and you're recovering, you know, and they take forever, and you're watching videos to kind of understand how to do it. So somehow it's like that. Like, I don't know, some days you want to go to the gym, some days you don't want to go to the gym. But
Hello.
but as long as you're in the gym on your schedule and you don't miss, you're gonna get stronger. It's just pretty simple, you know what I mean? So
you're saying consistency is key, basically, in this
consistency
exercise.
is one of the keys.
Uh-huh.
But well, I don't know. I can't say. It depends what your goals are, though. You know.
Good point.
So, like for me, my goal is just, yeah. I mean, a big goal is to do it for the sake of getting comfortable on camera. And yes, I think I can see that is happening. It's pretty fucking obvious, man. Like the more you do something, the more you're comfortable you get at doing it.
No, but I watch your videos.
So-
You really have a sweet flow there. Just go and you just flow.
Yeah, but you don't see me walking around alone for an hour before I start recording, trying to think of what to say. Though. You know, yeah, that's part of the process. You know,
Yeah.
is I
true
have
that.
to chill out my mind for literally, and that's my hope. Is like after maybe like episode 400, I just turned it on and I'm there. But
Yeah, you just start recording wherever you are.
but I will say, yeah, video number 1, I had to walk around for like 3 hours before I hit record.
Really?
Just to like kind of just get into the enough of a mental space that I felt, okay, I'm ready now. I can just I kind of understand what I have to do.
Huh.
But now maybe I just need 25 minutes. But I still legit need 25 minutes to just turn off and walk in silently and just think. Like for me, I learned a lot from social media from Wes Watson
Uh-huh.
and how he does, and
Yeah.
how just he's so fucking raw on camera. I love that. And his, you know, as we talked about a little bit, his philosophy comes from inner self-work, from being in
Yeah.
prison, and how what conclusions he's reached naturally align with our gurus, which is just so cool because he's such a different flavor, and he's super inspiring to watch. But I say that to say, for him, a big thing was basically changing his mind from doing things for the sake of himself to doing things for the sake of others, you know.
Yep.
And that was his kind of foundational, quantum shift. And of course, Guruji talks so much about this, we're all caught up in our own shit so much. Just like focus on others, it's a huge hot step in a positive direction towards God, to serve other people. And for Wes Watson, his whole thing is like, he didn't even want to make videos, actually. This is what I was hearing from some of his interviews. He was like, nah, I don't want to do that shit. Like, I don't want to expose myself to judgment. That sounds fucking whack. I'm good. Like, I already figured out my shit. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, I'm solid. I don't need a bunch of people who don't do shit to fucking judge me publicly. Like, fuck that. Like, I'm good. But he realized that, okay, like, some people will benefit from this, and you know what? I'll do it for them. Like, if I show that I'm for him, if I show them that I'm waking up at whatever his time is, 4:15 every morning, for whatever it is, 4 every morning, or 3:45 actually. 3:45 every morning. If I come online and show them I'm up, I'm doing my shit, I'm staying positive, this is what I went through, this is my real shit, that's going to keep them inspired and like
lead by example.
And you know what,
walk the talk.
It might have been that person's day. They needed that moment to push them through whatever it is. So I take that as inspiration personally, of like, all right, that's kind of what I'm doing in my walks before hitting record, is just thinking, all right, who are my people, what's the vibe in the atmosphere right now, and then where am I at, and what do I have to say about it? Hopefully it's helpful for somebody, for like the 3 people who watch.
Who knows, maybe one of them will start acting upon it,
Sure.
And if you help one person to act upon a dream or an inspiration or a need for transformation, for personal growth, that is huge from my point of view.
Yeah.
You don't have to be an influencer. You don't have to be. You just have to be yourself. And
well, everyone's an influencer, on the fucking etheric level.
Oh yeah.
Right. Just our thoughts are influencing those around us, right? So.
And
these are just broadcasting devices, Make your thoughts a little
it's just
bit more
a witness.
wide.
It's just a witness that is recording.
Yeah.
That's it. Back in the days, they used to call this walk in the forest, sharing thoughts. Now we're calling it video content for YouTube.
Sure, yeah, same thing.
It's the same thing, bro.
Well, that's why we put so many cameras on Guruji all the time, because we want to broadcast his thoughts,
Yeah. Which we will never be able to amplify. Just share it with the world, because we found value.
Well, there's so much love and transformation in his words, right? Like, So and like we were talking about with Vandana earlier on the bench, just how authenticity and positivity carries, man. It's just natural. Like, we all respond to it. We all know what feels real and honest, and that's what we like to watch. We don't like watching movies where you can tell that people are acting. It's just cringy, It's like, you almost feel bad. It's like,
or you watch it because of the fun it generates. Like, oh man, it's so bad that it's all good.
Yeah,
it's so bad it's good.
Yeah, sure.
Because if it has the purpose of putting a mirror on the fakeness, then it's I'm gonna watch that. Okay, it's so bad. But
let's learn from it.
It's a reminder,
Yeah.
Don't go there.
So have you come to any conclusions about the mask? Or anything you've discovered in that field to help keep it off in the morning?
And I used to make fun with my wife. She's also an actress. And I used to make fun of actors who cannot how do you say, take take down the mask, don't are so caught up in what they're doing, they identify with the fact that they're actors,
Yeah.
and they live that experience in and off stage all the time. It's like you cannot shake the character off you, you know. And we said, man,
You mean whichever character they happen to be involved in at the
if
time?
now they're
Or
playing like
even just the identity of being an actor, you mean? Like,
both, because it's influenced. If they have a powerful experience, creative experience with a director and a character that they wish to play, and they started to work deeply on that character, that will influence the intensity which they identify as actors. But also they carry the role with them.
yeah.
So I'm not trying to downplay the power of acting or the beauty of the craft. I'm just trying to shed a little bit of light on the illusion that sometimes you get caught into.
Yeah.
Because you know amazing examples of actors that have been immersed in roles, and you're like, man, this is like crazy. The level of craftsmanship and the art that's come out.
Yeah.
Have Daniel Day-Lewis. He doesn't win an Oscar every time he plays because he's just charismatic. He knows the science behind, bro.
Yes.
I mean, he's an amazing, huge actor. Whether you like him or not, you just have to appreciate that.
Yeah.
And you have actors, for example, like Heath Ledger, who went so deep into that darkness that he never got out, you know. You start to wonder, man, is this the way? What is the boundary between what I'm playing and the craft that I have to show to the world, you know? And I went that path. I went really deep with some characters, and the director had to pull the plug on me and said, okay, now we stop. Now because I was into some method acting at one point.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, we pull the plug because it's enough of the character and now it's becoming too much in your life. And I see it. It's gonna affect you on the long term. So that's when I started to realize not only the characters that I play on stage are powerful and real, but there's another character that I play every day that I don't even see. And that's the character that I have been growing all these years through my experience. My parents taught me how to play that character, society taught me, and I was trying to meet expectations.
Sure.
Okay, I have to be a good son, I have to be a good actor, it's always stepping up the game.
Yeah.
But once you realize it is a character, it's heartbreaking, but also liberating. Because you have that shock, oh my god, it's just a character at the end of the day. So, what is beneath?
Yeah.
And that's when the journey starts, basically. When you see the character and then, okay, what's behind the mask? And the age-old question, the most important question, who am I?
Yes.
And if you start asking that question, transformation is bound to happen.
You know,
Who
and
am
that's really why I find acting to be one of the most spiritual art forms out there. One of the most trippy ones, because literally your body and your persona is your paintbrush.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre, you know, and it can be so intense, obviously. You know,
It influences you psychologically.
as it has to, you know, for it to work.
You change your body.
Yeah.
You change everything, you know.
But it's so hard for, you know, okay, one type of hard, right? Like, we can put it always in context of what's hard in life, but still, you know, like, just psychologically it can be tough for these guys. Because, yeah, I mean, judgment of your performance really feels like judgment of you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not.
Exactly.
You know? You have to separate that to fucking survive in this industry, right?
And it can really fuck up your self-esteem.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
people get depressed and they get like confused
Yeah.
They don't know if they are meant for this.
Right, all that kind of stuff.
Self-doubt,
Yeah.
all type of negative. My God, this is fairy tale, bro. I feel like I walked up the mountain.
Oh yeah, you did. I know there's a lot of different kind of food.
Yep.
For example, my friend, he would spend months preparing for a roll.
Hallo.
Hey there.
Hi.
Hey.
Joi. So schön. Amazing.
You know, he would spend months like putting on the clothes, going shopping, and doing the activities his character would do, but listening to the records his character would listen to, all this kind of stuff, right? And then, but I'm kind of wondering. I mean, there's so many schools. There must be a school that's also kind of anti-acting, right? Non-acting, which is kind of somehow, to me, it feels like it's so essential for any philosophy. Basically, you kind of have to get underneath all the masks to be able to do any role effectively, it feels. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I mean, I guess you can kind of cheat your way through it with a really good portrayal, right? But there is a difference between something that's authentic and something that's a very good portrayal. I don't know what kind of philosophies you studied and practiced and subscribed to. But.
So this is a really, really nice question. What in my journey of trying to understand who am I as a performer, I encountered a guy, for example. He was ex-military. He went, I think, in Iraq also, and he had a really bad experience. Like, I mean, during an exercise, they were preparing. One of his best friends, like his homie, gets shot in the head by friendly fire because it's night, it's not coordinated good enough, and he got shot in the head, and he actually catches him while he falls and lays his brains on the floor. I mean, and he talks about, he has a performance. You find all this in his performance. I will share it with you. It's amazing. And he talks about how the army has trained him so good at not being a human being, because you have to be a killer. You have to kill your instincts in order to kill another human being.
Yeah, and to survive out there.
That experience shook him from the bottom of his heart and from his core, and he suffered post-traumatic stress disorder like instantly, and he couldn't shake off the depression. And at one point he quit the army and he wandered back in his hometown, and he entered a theater hall, and that's where he saw Macbeth. No, he saw Richard III, and the monologue, the opening monologue of Richard, "Now is the winter of our discontent, made glorious by the son of York," and all Richard is talking about his imperfections, his deformity, and he started to relate with Richard, and he said, man, this guy is talking about me, about the hate I have towards myself, towards others, and he started to find value in acting, and he became an actor. He quit the army, he became an actor, now he's doing this performance all over the world. And what he created is a program for vets that went through this post-traumatic stress disorder, and he started deprogramming them. I don't know how to say, because
humanizing.
Because he says you go in the army, they are regimenting you. I don't know what's the word. Yeah. What's the word when you?
That's a fine word.
Because he has the word for this thing that he does. It's related to when you go to the army and you go through the boot camp. And I don't know. My English is not so good. So he developed this program, and now he's helping military people to get back on track. And it's really interesting because the moment I saw that, I said, man, nobody in acting teaches you how not to be an actor in your real life. Because
I'm surprised. I feel like
it's so
there
glorified,
would be
you know, to be a good actor, but you don't have like the antidote of that. Okay, can we breathe a little bit and just acknowledge the fact that this is just a character? Can we go to that clean slate where you acknowledge, okay, this is just acting, you know? There's been a lot of great teachers who've been pointing towards that, like the point, the neutral point. Like you have Peter Brook, you have Stanislavski, you have all these great theater creators that are touching upon that, but to better your acting. I haven't encountered yet that method. Maybe there is out there.
I guess
I'm ignorant in this, maybe. But it would be, for me, the spiritual path was the antidote. When I started walking the path, it was so hard to play characters at one point, bro. Because the problems were so fucking fake. I mean, you have a famous play, like, I don't know, like The Three Sisters by Anton Pavlovich Chekhov. Amazing, huge writer, like he's the level of Shakespeare. He has this play, yeah, and you have these three sisters living somewhere in a remote village, and they dream of going to Moscow, and that's the whole play. That's the whole play. Of course, it's psychological depth. The conflict is real. It's pointing out to the society, to a lot of layers.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, buy a fucking ticket and go to Moscow.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all what you have to do.
Yeah.
Like Hamlet, that's a voice in your fucking head. You don't have to kill everybody, you know?
Yeah.
Just chill. Practice forgiveness. Practice acceptance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, after I started walking the path, it was so hard to identify with the conflict, because theater, movies, they're all based on conflict. Drama loca. They are all based on conflict. And the solution is more conflict. The solution is never one character waking up, awakening his true potential. Like, man, I think I'm made of love.
Then the movie ends in Act 2, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Even the happy endings, you know that after they get married, the shitty life of marriage starts, and kids appear and all that. Maybe they get divorced.
That's
Romeo and
what I like
Juliet.
about Richard Linklater's films, because like in the Sunset series, I don't know if you saw those, but like he goes into that. He goes into that exact. He smashes that illusion and through that series of the films. It's so real. But it's not so common, is it?
It's that's why I love about Bhakti Marga theater, because you have this emphasis on God from start to finish, and it almost comes for me like a breath of fresh air. Like, oh, I was out, because at one point I was praying to God. After I met Guruji and I started being really transformation process started, and I was praying to God, please, my next role, please let me talk about God. Let me talk about God. I don't care, but make my character, whatever it is, to talk about God. And I would, from the whole play, I would receive the line, God bless you. You know, that's the only mention of God, but I had that line, for example. And this happened repeatedly. And I was like, man, why is it so hard to talk about God in theater? Because nobody talks about God in theater. Right. So it was crazy.
It's all human stories.
Exactly. Yeah. And for me, it was like, I was super grateful to receive one line in the whole fucking 2 hours of show in which I just say, God, help me. Or something like that. A random thing that people usually say as a phrase, you know, God bless you, God help me.
Sure.
But that made me think, why is God not so present in our current society? Why don't we talk about God? Why don't we make movies about God? So yeah, it will help a lot with the masks, because God's like the sun, you know. He shines that light and you can see right through the mask. Just... This was a rant. Sorry for that.
That's cool. Your friend has to watch Barry, by the way. That
Barry?
episode, Barry. It's literally his life. I mean, not literally, because Barry goes very dark humor, but no, the concept is the same. He's a Barry's a character. He's ex-military, and then he stumbles upon the theater and hopes that but it goes the other way. He's actually a psychotic killer. It's hilarious, but he's also like the best actor at the theater because he's so real. He's like so disturbed from his experience in Afghanistan.
Okay.
He's just the most raw, unsafe. It's hilarious.
But
Anyway.
this is talking about authenticity. This is something that happened in Romanian cinema, for example. A lot of non-professional actors started playing in the movies just because they are more authentic than actual actors, you know. They have that.
They haven't overthought it a billion times. They just fucking.
Especially for that realism, that raw realism, or almost a documentary type of cinema that they're doing now in Romania.
Yeah.
It's just a slice of life, and you just have authentic people. And it's for me, it's hard to play in those movies because I'm a character actor. I like to build characters from the outside, you know, and I like to play a little bit and just change a little bit my body, my voice, my tone, my everything, you know. That's what I find interesting in acting. And I find it really boring just to be...
Just to be you?
Yeah, no, because you pretend you're a different character, but nothing changes from one movie to the other. It's the same actor that plays like 100 characters and they're all the same. With, of course, nuances, a lot of nuances, psychological nuances. But for me, acting is more on the outside, you know. I'm more... I like to create those characters. That's why I think it was easier for me, maybe, to acknowledge that I play a character at the end of the day, because I didn't identify so much with the characters I play. I was just, okay, this is another character and another character. Wow. This is beautiful.
Well, we made it around the full loop.
Yeah, man.
This is more of a podcast than a video, isn't it? This is an ep. This is a long ep.
But I think it's an interesting format that we can add. It's good to have also those short ones, but because of the attention span of the people is so reduced nowadays, I think it's an exercise also for
But you know,
the
I think
people
a
who
little.
watch it.
I think that kind of. I hear we all say that so much, right? Like, oh, the attention span is so low these days, blah blah blah. But I think it's a little bit of a myth, man. To be honest,
Why?
because I think people's attention spans are still long, but only for shit that they really, really, really like. Then they will sit there all fucking day
good point.
and watch some shit. You know what I mean?
Very good point.
So it's just become your shit just has to be fucking perfectly matched for that viewer. They'll watch it all
very
day.
good point. Very good point.
So we just do what we got to do. We do what we do naturally, and then the rest will come. The results will come for however they're supposed to be. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, so it was nice talking to you, brother.
You too.
We should do this YouTube. we should do this again.
Well, it's fun, man. Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe next time we actually do conversations with the guys in the ashram, because they have stories, man, and they can share so many things with us. The experience is so beautiful here in the ashram. Maybe this way we show people the alternative. Like, what does it mean to live in a community? What does it mean to have people from different parts of the world who may, for us, I think now it's, you might say, oh, they're from they do movies, they have a common language, but actually I think this is the first time we actually talk.
Yeah, about
This is
movies,
the first
yeah.
time.
It's true.
We talked like for 5 minutes, the longest conversation we had, because you're always busy in the ashram and you have to do stuff. But now is the longest conversation we had, and I think it's beautiful to witness it, you know, unfold. and see how actually even people that you don't know how many things you have in common, it's there. You just have to open the conversation. So yeah, let's check it out. Stay grounded, walk straight, and see you next time.